every shop owner needs to listen to this. If you're a machinist, you gotta listen to this. This is crazy. So I was just talking to Dre. Dre's a new machinist over here. You guys have seen him in a ton of videos. And we actually come from the same part of California. Actually, one of my biggest customers, Schilling Robotics. You actually worked there for like 8 years. And Keith was like, oh, Dre's a great machinist. And then I was like, 8 years at Schilling, the type of like aerospace grade materials that they make, all the robotics and everything, I knew he must be good. And you've already seen him killing it on the videos and stuff. So you were actually working at a different company. What you were just telling us, go ahead and actually tell them, because this is actually super important.
So I was working at this shop as a programmer and estimator, and we had just a great crew, and the owner was a really good guy. He ended up selling the company to a private equity group. We were one of 17 companies that they owned, and we were the most profitable and had the best numbers, so they came to us and said, you know, we want to give you profit sharing, and laid out the plan with 4 benchmarks on what we needed to do and what goals we needed to hit. When the time came to pay out on that, about 2 weeks before the end of the quarter, they called us in and said, hey, this other location has a bunch of parts that they're having issues with. They can't get them made. Can you guys help them out? So we took on the jobs. We got all the parts made and sent out. And when it came time for the profit sharing paycheck, we didn't hit any of the benchmarks. And so we were pretty confused on, you know, what had happened. So we asked the GM to look into it. They had ended up putting those jobs that had been rejected and they weren't on time delivery anymore from another location. They put them on our books. So we missed all of the benchmarks and didn't get any profit sharing that first quarter. The second quarter, we were doing really good again. It was looking like we were gonna hit all the benchmarks, and lo and behold, the same exact thing happened. We got about 10 jobs put on our books that we had nothing to do with making, quoting, anything at the beginning. And it made us miss all those quotas that we needed to hit to get paid out.
And you guys had all of your work stacked up, and they looked at that work and they're like, based on this, if you perform well, we incentivize it, right? Mm-hmm. And then they stacked more on it right at the end to force you to not get them. Yep. And then you said like they basically did the same thing the following quarter.
At that point, I realized that that wasn't a company that I wanted to put all my effort and time into anymore, and I actually gave my 2-week notice a few weeks later. And at the time it was a bummer because it used to be a company I really loved working for, but it ended up leading to me moving to Texas and getting to work with these guys, so it definitely all worked out.
Oh man, it all works out. I understand like the mental part of it, because a long time ago I was running a production job and I was working for another shop and I'm running that company. The owner of the company and I all of a sudden started having friction, and the shop was running beautiful. Like everything was absolutely perfect. But then all of a sudden, I lost faith in him. I lost faith in the shop. I lost faith in all of it. And it consumed me as a machinist. Now, this is before I had my own company. I would walk into the shop and where we would just take such pride in just making all of these different parts. It just put my mind into a crazy place. And then while I'm running production, I'm taking the parts out of the machines, I'm putting them on the racks, I'm blowing them off, putting them on the racks, I'm putting raw material in, I'm taking it out, I'm doing my job and stuff. And at the end of the day, I actually happened to walk on the other side and I realized that my finish pass that was actually meeting up with the other side that we actually pre-machined actually wasn't hitting the back side. So my Y was off and it was still rough on the back side. So when I was taking them off, I was seeing a beautiful part and I kept putting it down and putting it down, and I never bothered to actually look at the other side, and I scrapped the entire day's work. Now, it wasn't because I wasn't a good machinist, it was because like I was so upset. I was in a different place. So there's such an importance, like as a machine shop owner now, being a machinist, I understand that it's like, I need to figure out how to actually give my guys the best possible experience. And I understand like if I come in and say something bad to them, or I don't keep my word to them or anything, it'll set the entire relationship into a weird spin. And sometimes you can never recover from it, you know? So it's important. If you tell somebody you're gonna do something, you gotta keep your word and you gotta have good communication.
And if you got a guy like me on your shop floor, You don't want me being distracted.
I mean, like what Dre's talking about is a very good example of when an incentive becomes a negative, you know, and I've seen that before too. Like in some production shops I've seen where like they would have a production number that you had to hit. They would try to incentivize you by hitting more than production, right? So they're like, hey, you've got to hit, let's say 100 pieces a day, but anything you make more than that, you get a certain percentage, right? There's a potential there to make a lot of money throughout the week if you run overproduction. So people start working really hard to hit those numbers. The problem with that is, number one, they set the number so high that you can't really get much past that. But if you do, and then multiple people do, well, guess what? They come in and change the number. So that just tells me, okay, why work hard? Because every time I do this, they're just going to keep changing the numbers. Another example of you take something that is supposed to be designed to incentivize somebody and turn it into a negative and give them a bad attitude.
You know, as a machine shop owner and a machinist, like once I stepped into ownership, you know, it's been level after level after level. But from the start of it, I always thought to myself, I'm gonna pay all of my guys more money than they've ever made elsewhere. But I can't just do that, because we have to have money to do that. So it's almost like, you know, a full circle where I have to inspire my guys. I have to give them the vision to actually put the work in. I got to put that competitive nature into it. But I also have to do my part, and I have to go look at getting the right type of work that pays well, looking at complicated jobs that a lot of people don't want to do and becoming an expert in that. Being able to dig our roots so that we can dig our roots into those companies and have them for the long term. So one thing that I've always done is just gone after work that paid well, which allowed my guys to actually get paid well because we all created the money together. I'm only one guy, so if I wanted to just have 3 machines in my garage or something all day long, I could just make that living by myself. But I have grander visions. I want to serve the industry. I want to scale everything. I want to change lives, and to do that, I need to have amazing men by my side. And even you guys see me, I talk about money, I talk about business, I talk about all of it. What kind of person would I be talking about that if I wasn't taking care of my guys and stuff? So the word out to all the owners out there, take care of your people. Understand that your shop is nothing without them. Make sure that you actually weed through the bad ones that can't come back. Like certain guys aren't on level, and you can teach them to be on level. But at the same time, you got to make sure that you bring in A-listed employees, people who have vision, who are willing to work hard, that have the talent, or that they actually can reach that point and you're willing to mentor them. If you have a C level or a D level, then you need to have the courage to actually remove those from the team so your team can actually thrive, rise up, and you guys can do amazing things as a company. And think before you tell your employees something, because if you tell them something and it doesn't happen, if you can't fulfill your promise, then you're gonna lose those employees, or at the very least, lose their respect.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's a team effort. It takes everybody. I mean, look here, it takes all of us to build it up, and it only takes Barry to tear it down.
I'm good.
I'm trying to chip in.
So good.
Team and Barry.
I mean, these guys, like one thing that I did a long time ago after going through 08 and 09 is like, I never asked my guys to work weekends. Like I do not tell my guys to work Saturday and Sunday. But it's crazy because I have that type of culture. Like they know inside when they have a job, like all of a sudden they're here working. I didn't even have to tell them anything because they take ownership of the company and of their responsibilities to get it done. And that's exactly where you need your employees to come, to take ownership of their jobs and the company, take great pride in the company, knowing that if they falter in their task, it's going to be a bad look for the company. So they step up, we all fall in line, and we got a vision.
Yeah.
Changing lives, being competitive in that. Let's actually win at changing the most lives in the entire industry. Let's lift it all up. Boom, now we got Dre. So whoever didn't actually pay them out, thank you very much, because we got the great employee right here. And remember, on November 12th, 13th, and 14th, the BOOMBASTIC show, the greatest machining show on earth. All these machines will be running titanium Inconel, stainless, crazy jobs. You can come see all the machines and you can get in our minds and actually take that skill with you, so you can take that so you can go compete in your own companies. And if you're looking for a machine to purchase, we have amazing machines and we got deals, boombastic deals. So come check it out. See you guys. Boom.